So, what do you get for $1,400? That's right, a GPU that came out about a year ago. And whether or not you're trying to find a new one that's, a little bit more in your budget, or just trying to check this one out, don't go anywhere. Alright, so this bad boy came out, just under a year ago. This is the 1080 Ti, which is probably right now the top graphics card for 4K gaming. The only one that really can't compete up in the level around this would probably be the Titan XP, but unless you want to drop probably almost twice what this is worth, I recommend just going with this one. But anyway, I haven't even opened this one up yet. I'm gonna say it's the GTX 1080 Ti. It comes in two versions. This is the Asus one, but it comes with an overclock version as well. That gives you just some additional graphics power. I'm saying here, let's go ahead and slide this one open. And so we'll see what you get in this container. And I'm gonna say the price isn't set at a solid 14. So you can check prices, usually Amazon, Newegg, and they are going up and down. About the average price, you could probably get, especially when they first came out brand new, for about $700 to about $780 if you really found a deal somewhere. Right now, especially many PC gamers know about this, due to the whole mining craze that struck, it actually very much so limited the amount of choices we had if you were looking for a reasonably priced graphics card. And one of the main things you're looking for when you look for a graphics card is something that can handle, well, most people usually try to find something that can handle not only what's out now, but they try to future-proof their PC. Some people are just looking for a slight upgrade from 1080 to 1440 or even 4K. Box, do it to the side. So, it comes in the box, black box, Strix written across the top, and there you go. I'm say so. Little Asus packet up top. So instructions, we'll read that if needed, if at all. And here is it. So you can see that for yourself. Beautiful. Say so when it comes to 4K gaming, this is pretty much, well, the overclock version is pretty much the best you can get, especially for anything around this price bracket. Right now, even though it's selling from around $1,200 to $1,400, just wait for the price to go back down. For the first time, and honestly probably ever, it's actually cheaper. It might actually be cheaper right now, in most cases it is, to simply just get a pre-built PC with one of these already in it. Let's say you spend $1,500 on it. Right now, you can check Amazon. This thing will probably be around $1,300 to $1,400 on Newegg. Any ones that they do have in stock are probably going to be up there in price, especially the Asus ones. So when it comes to running, even at 1440, you can run one of these and it'll get almost up to 144 hertz in most games. I went ahead and checked out benchmarks for Destiny 2, which this actually comes with a digital copy of Destiny 2 when you buy it. It was a special promotion that they were running. And I don't play Destiny, so one of my subscribers, I'll probably just pick a random one or just have a random number picked out, and if you guys want it, I'll send you guys the code. I'm gonna say just make sure you subscribe to get yourself a chance to win. If you guys subscribe and have somebody else subscribe, I'm gonna give you twice a chance to get in it. So here's the actual graphics card itself. Obviously it comes in its protective foam and bag. This thing comes in at about 11.5 inches. Let me say this. I want to say a slightly reflective bag. I want to say silver or a gray type of color. Nothing in the bottom. Put that to the side. So it comes with your cables and what appears to be a Velcro strap for your cable management. So it's always important. Just the container came in. It's honestly a bag to protect it from any static. But here, let's go ahead and get into GPUs that are a little bit less than this one. I'm saying so here. I'm saying for the games that I research benchmarks on, you're gonna have PUBG and you're gonna have Destiny 2, which this one comes out with. I'm saying so. One of you guys may have the chance to win it. Subscribe, click that red button. When it comes to 4K, nothing touches this except for, like I said, the NVIDIA Titan X, which I'm gonna say the price for the same price, pretty much. There's nothing else that can compete with that. For 1440 in both games, you're probably gonna hit somewhere for the 60 for the people who just like to play at 60 frames per second. So nothing major. You can cut it on PUBG with a 1070 Ti, a Vega 64 LC, or just a regular 64, and a normal 1080 can handle that no problem. You'll get around 60 frames per second solid, no problem at 1440p. Now if you want to escalate that to around 90, the Ti can handle that up to around 90 to 100, as well as the Titan X. And that's pretty much it. I'm saying you're not going to be able to play like 1440p and 4K at 144 hertz, usually just one. I'm saying if you really want to do that, you can probably just connect the SLI bridge, get two of these. Honestly, right now isn't the time, obviously with the price being so high. But if you just want to play a 1080 game, 1080p, your game's at 1080p, and you just want to have let's say around 80 frames, or actually if you do want to hit that 144 hertz and have it solid, no problem. In fact, you can get more than 144 hertz. The 1080 Ti, the Titan X, the 1080, just a normal 1080, can handle both Destiny and PUBG at 144 hertz at 1080p, no problem. But the only thing is, obviously, as you go up in resolution with the higher load on this GPU, or GPUs plural, you're not going to get quite that. It's kind of, you got to pick one, pick your side. I'm saying it's literally pretty much a diagonal line as far as your resolution to your frame rates. And I mean, as somebody who mostly plays PUBG, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, those shooter games, high pace, some Overwatch. These games are probably I'm gonna go running them at 1440p. So I'm probably gonna settle around 90 to 100 frames. And and another thing too is, when you're picking out your GPU, you also have to make sure that your monitor can handle it too. There's no purpose of buying a new GPU, but you only have a 1080 a 1080 monitor, unless that's what you're gonna play it at, just at a higher frame rate. Or another thing too is, if you want to play at the 144 hertz, I highly recommend, in fact you should really should look into make sure that your monitor has either G-Sync or AMD's FreeSync. You just have to look into which card you get, which GPU you have, and also the monitor. The new Samsungs come out mostly have the AMD. I haven't seen any with G-Sync. I actually just ordered a new Dell that has G-Sync in it, 1mm response time, 144 hertz. So pretty much when I'm looking at it, what I'm looking to get out of it, I'm pretty much going to be gaming at 1440p. For TV, you can even plug your computer up to a TV if you just want to watch a movie in 4K, which is not a problem. Now when you start to go into 1080p for Destiny, you can pretty much get everything. And if let's say you want to keep it simply, let's say below around $300, a 1050 Ti, a Radeon 570 R9 390, the Nano and the Fury can all handle Destiny 2 at 1080p, around 60 frames per second, no problem. Other games pretty much, I'll see some. Let's see, Battlefield. If you really want to play Battlefield at obviously the higher frame rates, that 4K Battlefield at 4K, Battlefield 1 especially is a very high demand game. So what you want to make sure you do is make sure you get the right GPU, obviously. Excuse me. Make sure you get the right GPU. And also make sure that you understand that you don't create a bottleneck somewhere. So your CPU, your monitor, and your GPU are the three most important things when it comes to building, upgrading or building your PC. So for right now, I'm gonna say it's cheaper. Just buy a pre-built PC. You can find some decent deals from whether that's Newegg. Check out maybe one. Hurts me to say this, but check out maybe one from Best Buy or Amazon. Check out the pre-built deals, because right now at least the prices are pretty much the same. Instead of spending $1,500 on just the graphics card, that's something you could spend on the entire computer itself. And when you start to enter the the realm of 4K gaming, the price is gonna be closer to around $2,200 to $2,500. So just make sure you do your research. I'm saying you don't need a 1080, and I'm saying most people can't really drop the price, especially right now, to go ahead and get one. So I'm saying research, and I'm saying here drop those in depending on the game you play. So I'm saying if you're looking to play at 1080p 60 hertz, I highly recommend a 1060 or R9 Fury, something lower price but still is good enough to get the job done. If you have a little bit more, I highly recommend maybe getting you a 1070. You can especially find 1070s and 1060s used that people are selling, and you can actually still sell them. Let's say you buy it, you keep it for a few months, you can actually resell it for almost as much as you got it for, pretty much, sometimes even the same. So keeping your options open to what GPUs, and obviously budget is a big thing, especially for most PC builders. Obviously, if we could, we'd all just buy the top of the line stuff. And if you're looking at gaming 4K, the only way to go is a 1080 Ti. I'm telling you, it's the best. If you buy a 1080 Ti, especially the overclocked one, you're not going to need a new one. As games come out, yes, they're going to be testing it, it's going to be pushing it, but at least for the next 5 years, if you buy a 1080 Ti, it's going to be able to hold up to any games that you want to play. Now, whether or not you can play them at the 4K resolution for the next 5 years, that's unknown, but 1440p, you get a 1080 Ti, it's going to be yours. There's nothing that's going to stop it. Let me get a sip. There's nothing that's going to stop you from getting your games on. So let's go over it again. Say 4K resolution for any game, Destiny, Battlefield, or PUBG. I highly recommend a 1080 Ti, which is this bad boy right here. Now, if you're looking at a game at 1440p, I would lean more toward a Vega 64, a GTX 1070 or 1080. If you're looking maybe on the cheaper side, if you only play Destiny, maybe a 980, a GT 980, or a RX 580 or 570 can still play these games at a decent frame rate. Now, if you're looking at a game at 144 hertz, I highly recommend 1080 or even the 1070, depending on which games you're playing. I'm going to say make sure you do your research on which cards you're going to get, but I'm going to go ahead and drop a few links below. Check them out. I'm saying Amazon, Newegg. I'm saying you pretty much know where to check out. The main places to compare prices, see what's in your budget, see what you want to get out of it, and don't forget, have a little bit of patience if you need to. And you can save up to get the card that you need for the rig that you're trying to build. And don't forget, let's say you do have an old CPU, make sure your CPU and your monitor can handle the upgraded graphics. And for now, that'll be it. So hey, if you liked the video, or if you want to see me do something else, please drop a like, subscribe. And again, anybody that subscribes to the video, this came with Destiny 2 download. I'll pick a random subscriber in probably a week. I'll make a new video every week, and by then I'll let you guys know who won, or I might just wait 2 weeks depending on how many subscribers we get, and we'll see from there. I'm gonna say, and remember, if you guys subscribe and have somebody else subscribe, that doubles your chance to win. And I'm gonna say, hey, who couldn't use a free Destiny 2? But hey, if you like, subscribe, don't forget to comment.